In the world of high-end medical aesthetics, there's a huge shift happening right under our noses. We've been poring over the latest 2025 financial reports, and let me tell you, the real story isn't about a new laser or some miracle cream. No, it's about a complete rewiring of how the biggest companies on the planet make their money. So, let's dive in.
And this quote right here, it cuts straight to the point. This isn't just some casual advice. It's a massive red flag for investors. It warns about a sketchy practice called channel stuffing, basically pushing devices to distributors that just sit in a warehouse and never actually get used. That one little metric, consumable revenue, has become the ultimate truth serum. If people aren't buying the disposables, it means the machines aren't running, and the whole business could just be a house of cards.
And that brings us to the industry's big play to fix this: the razor blade pivot. Now, this isn't some minor marketing tweak. We're talking about a total reimagining of their business, shifting the entire focus from that one-time hardware sale to locking in customers for the long haul. Okay, so for anyone new to this space, let's get our terms straight real quick. When we say energy-based devices, or EBDs, we're talking about the high-tech gear you see in modern clinics: the lasers, radio frequency wands, ultrasound machines, basically anything using energy for treatments like skin tightening or body contouring. This is the hardware at the very center of our story today. So let's break that pivot down. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, a simple one-and-done sale. You sell the machine, you make your money, you move on. But look at the right, that's the game changer. It's the classic razor blade model. The device itself is just the beginning. The real, reliable profit comes from the consumables, the special tips, the cartridges, the gels that clinics have to buy from you again and again and again. That is how you create stickiness and a revenue stream you can actually count on. So how does this actually look in the real world? Well, let's check out two of the absolute titans of this industry: InMode and Bosch's Salta Medical. They're both giants, for sure, but they've built their empires, what we call their strategic moats, in totally different ways. It's a really fascinating story of two very different paths to the top.
And wow, their playbooks could not be more different. First, you have Bounch's Solsa, who are, without a doubt, the kings of the razor blade model. I mean, look at that revenue and their consumable share. It's pretty much their whole business. Then you've got InMode. A bit smaller, yeah, but their consumable revenue is just taking off, and their moat is built on something else entirely. It's not just about the product, it's about controlling the entire pipeline, from the patent office all the way to the sales rep.
I really want to pause on this number because it's just so telling. Over 3/4 of Salta's revenue in 2025 didn't come from selling their famous Thermage machines. Nope, it came from the little tips and other disposables that those machines need to run. This is the model in its purest, most profitable form. It creates this incredibly powerful, predictable river of cash that is just so hard for any competitor to dam up. So if Salta's moat is its brand and that consumable lock-in, InMode's moat is one word: control. See, instead of relying on a bunch of third-party distributors, InMode went out and built its own subsidiaries, 100% owned in crucial markets. This gives them a direct line to every single customer, letting them control the message, the sales pitch, even how doctors are taught to use their tech. It's a slower, more expensive way to build, for sure, but it creates this rock-solid foundation for absolutely explosive growth down the line.
But hold on, it's not just a two-horse race here. There's a whole new wave of innovators coming out the market from totally different angles. They're not just tweaking business models, they're using clever tech and smart partnerships to create value in ways the big guys might be missing. Okay, check out Lamadec's approach. It's this really slick 3-step system. First, a special laser creates these tiny, invisible channels in the skin, basically opening the door. Then, through those channels, it uses a gentle electric current to literally push the good stuff from skincare products deep into the skin where it can actually work. So you see, the device isn't just a treatment on its own. It's a high-tech delivery system that makes other products you use way more effective. That's a whole new kind of synergy. And here's another brilliant example of that synergy. You've got HaoHai Bioscience, a massive company that makes injectable fillers. So what do? They go out and buy EndyMed, a company that makes radiofrequency devices. Why? Because now they can sell a complete package. A patient walks in, gets an RF treatment to tighten their skin, and then gets fillers to add back volume. All from the same company, all designed to work together. They've built a total one-stop shop, a complete treatment ecosystem. It's genius. And the innovation just keeps coming. Other companies are carving out their own unique paths. You have Wontech, which is using AI to build smart solutions.
And this isn't a gimmick. The AI can actually tell if a clinic is using a real company-approved consumable or a cheap knockoff, which protects that precious recurring revenue. And then there's APX Medical, taking their amazing skin tightening tech and moving into the massive liposuction market. It's all about finding new ways to play the game.
All right, so let's zoom back out. What does all this tell us? When you put all these pieces together, the titans, the innovators, what does it say about the future of the entire EBD industry? What are the 2025 filings really telling us about the next 3 years?
So what do we see on the horizon? Well, we can boil it down to 4 really big trends. First, that shift to direct sales is picking up speed. Owning the customer relationship is everything now. Second, AI isn't just for cool new features anymore. It's being used as a defensive weapon to guard that consumable money. Third, that idea of portfolio synergy, bundling treatments together, that's the new frontier. And finally, investors are getting smarter. They're looking past flashy revenue numbers, especially for overseas expansion, and demanding real proof of quality. So we'll end on this question because it's the big one. The whole EBD market is going through a kind of identity crisis. It's shifting away from just selling products out of a box and towards building these complex, interconnected platforms. The real winners in the years to come won't be the ones who sell the most machines. They'll be the ones who build the most powerful, most profitable, and most enduring ecosystem around their technology. And that is the battle you're going to want to watch.